All right, greetings, class, and welcome to week number 10. That is right, week number 10 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, and what we are going to do this week is we are going to have a check-in video that is centered on LibGuides. By the way, I hope you speed this up. You're actually going to want to speed up the next video too, because what I'm going to tell you is you're going to see a video from a previous semester in this announcement as well as this current check-in video. And you're probably wondering, okay, why is Dr. Jace giving us two videos, and why is this second video from a past semester that he is giving us so exceptionally long? And it is long, so again, speed it up. But there is a method to my madness. So again, the next major assignment that you all have is the LibGuide assignment. The LibGuide assignment, by the way, is due when? Let's check. All right, so that LibGuide assignment is actually due on November the 27th. So that is going to be a little more than a month from when I am recording this. As you all have already seen, but I'm going to show you again, the LibGuide does have a very, very, very long rubric, a huge rubric. So I do not want you all to procrastinate on this because there are a lot of elements to this, and there are going to be a lot of things that I will be evaluating on. Again, here's the rubric. I know I showed this to you on our first sync session, but here it is again. It's a doozy, okay? No, don't worry about that slow forward thing. But yeah, everything here, and this does include a video tutorial, and you all, yes, will be responsible for creating a video tutorial on top of everything else. So, yes, this is a very big assignment, and so I have had students who were just kind of in their nerves about the assignment in the past. And so what ended up happening, the reason why you're going to have that second check-in video is because what happened was, again, every semester I would record a longer check-in video because there's so much to go over with the LibGuide. But then there was this one particular semester where I had this one check-in video, and it's going to be the one that I'm going to be sharing with the class outside of this particular video. But that one semester I did the check-in video, and I guess the check-in video that semester was a lot better because people were, basically telling me that that check-in video had soothed their nerves a little bit, and then they went on ahead and did the LibGuide assignment, and they did not, I had higher grades and less frustration that semester than I have had in previous, semesters. So I decided I would just keep regurgitating that particular check-in video because apparently I hit on every single point that was causing people issues, and people were a lot less nervous after the fact. So that is why you're going to have that check-in video from a previous semester in here. But again, I do want you all to just not be too much into your nerves regarding having to do this LibGuide assignment, because the thing also is, well, here's the thing. So even though the LibGuide software may seem a little daunting at first, it may throw you a little curve. You may be like, whoa, this is a lot going on. I have to learn something new. I have to learn a new software application. I believe most of you have learned software applications that are actually more difficult to use than LibGuides is. So that is one thing that I want you all to keep in mind. If you're doing Photoshop, if you're doing SPSS, if you are coding things in HTML, if you're doing anything like that, and I know a lot of people who find bootleg versions of Photoshop, and then they're like photoshopping things all the time. Photoshop has a bigger learning curve than LibGuides does. So if you can do Photoshop, you can do LibGuides. If you can do Excel, you can do LibGuides. If you can do HTML, you can do LibGuides, okay? So I want that to be the first thing. Yes, when you first get in there and start trying to work things out, it is kind of difficult because, yes, you are learning a new software application. But once you get over that learning curve, once you get past that hump and actually get more comfortable with it, you're going to do just fine. And I will tell you, once you are a professional, if LibGuides are part of your domain as a professional, you may be asked to do LibGuides like within a day or two. So yes, you're having it over a month to do something that when you're in professional practice, you may only have a day or two to put these types of things together, okay? So yes, this is a kind of a big, this is kind of a quick and crude introduction to LibGuides. But again, this is a skill for you to master. This is also something that you may want to show potential employers on the job interview, because if you show them that, then they will say, oh, okay, even if you wouldn't be creating LibGuides in that particular job, what you would be doing by showing them a LibGuide that you created is you would be saying to them, I have the competency and the ability to learn a new software application and use it for my library work. And I am proving this by showing you my LibGuide. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. Actually, give me 1 second here. All right. So a few other things that I do want to just very kind of quickly mention here. First of all, excuse me. The topic can be unprofessional. That is one thing I know that the prompt does say you've got to pick like some professional topic or something like that. I am not wedded to that. That is just to basically cover my ass so that if somebody does something really, really inappropriate, then I can say, hey, that's out of the purview of what we were talking about in this class. But I don't really expect that to happen. And in fact, that has not happened before. So I am perfectly fine with you all just picking whatever topic you want. But if you want to get the topic approved with me ahead of time, that may not be a bad idea. So you can reach out to me and get it approved. But anything you want to do, it doesn't have to be professional. It doesn't have to be serious. So if you want to do a LibGuide on, I've had people do LibGuides on, you know, bands that they liked or their hometown or their favorite sitcom, whatever the case may be. What I really want you all to do is enjoy doing this assignment so that your first LibGuide doesn't feel like torture. So if I say you have to do something serious and then you decide, oh, I got to do something serious, so I guess I'll do my LibGuide on John Locke or something. And then you decide, oh man, this John Locke LibGuide is pretty boring, but I've already wedded myself to it. Nah, don't worry about all that. Find something that you think you'll enjoy doing. If you are a big Taylor Swift fan, do a Taylor Swift LibGuide. It is perfectly fine. If you are a huge LA Lakers fan, do a LA Lakers LibGuide. It is totally fine. But again, if you want to approve it with me first, that may not be a bad idea because I do have to make sure that what you are covering is something that is not too broad and not too narrow for all the different source types that you're going to need. So for instance, I've got a toddler. She loves Gabby's Dollhouse. Gabby's Dollhouse is probably not something that you could do a LibGuide on because it has not been around long enough to probably generate those various types of source types that you would need. However, if my daughter wanted, she also likes Sesame Street. Sesame Street's been around for a long time. Sesame Street is even older than Dr. Jace is, let alone my daughter. So if my daughter wanted to do something on Sesame Street, or not my daughter, if you wanted to do something on Sesame Street, then I would say that would be perfectly fine because that is a broad enough topic to where you would find all the various source types on that, whereas that wouldn't necessarily be the case with Gabby's Dollhouse. Another thing that I do want you all to just keep in mind is that you can reach out to me if you do have source types that you can't find, because you'll see in the rubric, in fact, I'll show you now, you'll see in the rubric that you do have to meet certain criteria as far as using various types of sources. Here you go. One print, one electronic, one print and electronic dictionary. You've got an encyclopedia, a directory, an index, a full text database, geographic resource, biographical resource, and government information resource. So you got a lot going on there. And if you are having trouble meeting all of these prongs with the topic you chose, if you need some help, you say, hey, Dr. Jace, I can't find a government resource about such and such topic. I will work with you. Just reach out to me, and it may require being a little bit creative, and that is perfectly fine. So you can be creative if you would like. But yeah, just make sure that your topic isn't too broad or too narrow, or else you will not be able, if it's too narrow, to find those various source types. And then if it's too broad, then it's just unfocused. So let's say you did a LibGuide, I don't know, on the planet Earth. All right, that's like too broad. You know what I'm saying? So like, because then, what are you talking about? Are you talking about people? Are you talking about weather? Are you talking about in relation to the rest of the solar system? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you definitely don't want to have something that's too broad because then it's just unfocused and messy. Now, as far as going about getting your sources and putting together the LibGuide, as far as actually constructing the LibGuide, there is a bit of basic information in that bigger check-in video from a couple semesters ago. I believe it was fall 2021 that, well, not a couple semesters ago, a couple years ago. I believe it was fall 2021, but regardless, yes, in that LibGuide, in that check-in video that I'll be posting from the past, you will see me give some basic information on how to actually put the LibGuide together. Very, very basic information. But really constructing a LibGuide and figuring out how to construct it is going to be a discovery process, but you can use whatever resources are available to you. So for instance, you can look for tutorials. You can just Google online and look for tutorials. You can watch SpringShare's tutorial. I'm going to have a link for one of their tutorials in this here announcement that this check-in video is going to appear in. You can also, I actually don't mind, this is a bit unusual, but I actually don't mind if you have access to a librarian or somebody who does LibGuides. I do not mind if you actually have, like, let's say you have a coworker, you work in the library already and you have a coworker who does LibGuides. I am perfectly fine with you having that person walk you through the LibGuide process, walk you through and say, hey, here's what you do, then you do this, and then you do that, because you're still learning. In that case, you're still learning. For me, this is about you learning, and it doesn't necessarily have to be self-learning. You can learn with somebody if you want. The one, and I will not consider that cheating, and if your coworker is worried and wondering, oh, is that cheating? If you do that, you can show them this video and you will hear it straight out of the horse's mouth. No, it is not cheating. No, what I will say is cheating is you cannot have somebody do the LibGuide for you. So yes, you can have somebody help you. You can actually have somebody walk you right through it, but you cannot have somebody do it for you. If I found out that you turned in a LibGuide assignment and the person who really did the LibGuide was a degree librarian at your library who just said, oh, I can do one for you and it'll only take me 30 minutes, so I might as well just do it for you. No, that is cheating. You have to do the work. You can do the work with assistance, but you have to do the work, okay? So I want you all to be aware of that. A few other things that I want to mention, and this should probably take me another 10 minutes or so this won't be too long of a check-in video. But other things that I want to mention, first of all, please do not password protect your LibGuide at least until after I have graded it, okay? Now, after I've graded it, you may want to keep the hyperlink because, for one thing, the LibGuide is something that you can put in your ePortfolio. So a lot of people use the LibGuide as a student learning outcome for SLO 4. Learning outcome submission. So yes, you may want to save your link to your LibGuide so that you can add that to your ePortfolio. And a lot of students, again, add it for SLO 4 for the ePortfolio. So yes, if I say that to say, yes, after I grade it, if you want to password protect it and then unprotect it when you do your ePortfolio, that's fine. But, and I know somebody's going to do this because it happens every single semester. I say, please do not password protect the LibGuides. And somebody always does it. And that definitely slows me down because I'm grading, and then somebody password protects their LibGuide. I can't see it. Now I've got to email you, hey, can you unprotect your LibGuide? And then it'll take you a day or two to respond, and then you unprotect it, and then I get to grade it finally, but that interrupts the flow of my grading and it holds everybody up. So please don't password protect. Also, something that you will see also in the old check-in video that I'm going to share in this announcement, but I might as well mention it right now as well. You do not need to use the database add feature, okay? So when you are adding your database, I know this is kind of a piece of minutia that I'm throwing in here, but again, this is something that's going to be in the bigger video as well. I get questions about this every semester. You will not be able to directly add the database into the LibGuide. What you will need to do in order to add your database, don't use the add database feature, use the link feature, and then find the permalink for that database and add that in. And if you watch the larger check-in video, you're going to see me do that at some point in that video, okay? And then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There are students who, and I understand this, it's kind of a neurodiversity thing. There are students who get a little nervous if they turn something in and then it doesn't show in Canvas that it's been submitted, right? Once you complete this LibGuide, it's actually not going to automatically show in Canvas because Canvas and LibApps, they aren't talking to each other, right? They're not connected to each other. So when you complete the LibGuide, it's not going and publish the LibGuide, it's not going to show me in Canvas that you've completed the LibGuide. So if you want to just have that incomplete kind of gone from your Canvas record, if you understand what I mean, like it'll say that something is late if you haven't turned it in, and because there's nothing to actually quote unquote turn in with the LibGuide within Canvas, it'll show that being late, and that freaks some students out, particularly if they are neurodiverse in any way. So what I want to say to that is if you are needing to put something in the submission portal, just go ahead and put your link to your LibGuide in your submission portal and enter it and let that be. And once you put in that link, first of all, that actually helps me out because it gets me to your LibGuide quicker, but then it also helps Canvas out because Canvas, once it sees that link, it's like, okay, an assignment has been submitted. And so then it doesn't say that you're late or missing an assignment anymore. And for a lot of students, that helps them out. And then just a few other things that I do want to just make sure you all are aware of. First of all, you are here to learn, okay? I am not going to be expecting a professional level LibGuide from you because you all are students. You should strive for professional level work. But just know that the more you do LibGuides, the more you're going to learn how to do them and the better you're going to get at them, like pretty much anything. So I'm not expecting you to have a professional, well-developed LibGuide right off the bat, okay? And in addition to saying that, please don't be a perfectionist, all right? So you're going to see that the LibGuide is worth technically 25 points. I know it says 2505, but again, that's that slow foreign language that's in there. But it's really worth 25 points for all intents and purposes. And what I'm going to say to that is because it is worth that 25 points and you have all these various prongs, please, 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 if you get something less than a 25, I've met a lot of students, especially here at Mizzou, who are just like perfectionists and they never had anything less than a 100 and all of this stuff going on. There's a good chance you're not going to get a perfect grade on this assignment, and that is perfectly fine. The penalties are to help you adjust so that you are able to say, oh, I got this wrong and got penalized for it, but that's training your brain to kind of fix that and correct it and not make that same mistake in the future. So yes, when it comes to LibGuides, you are going to have to, you're going to have to put your best foot forward and submit the best possible work that you can submit. But at the same time, just know that nobody is going to turn in a perfect LibGuide, or very few, I should say. And so it's not very likely that you're going to have a perfect score, and that's perfectly okay. This course is designed so that you can still get an A even if you are missing some points here and there. So if you're missing some points due to the LibGuide, that is perfectly okay. If you get a 23 out of 25 or a 22 out of 25, but you are still doing very, very well elsewhere in the class, trust me, you're going to be just fine and probably going to get that A that you want. And then aside from that, just a few other state of the course things to mention. Again, I mentioned this last week, but yes, we have published the semester-long project as long as you do 6 to 7 questions a week. At this point, 7 questions. If you started last week, 6 maybe, but this 5 to 6 really last week. Now it's more so 6 to 7. As long as you do 6 to 7 questions on that semester long project each week, you're going to be perfectly fine. Okay. And then our next sync session is going to be on November the 7th from 7 to 7:50 p.m. Via Zoom, and we are going to have Dustin Koopman, who is the head of security at Mid-Continent Public Library over in the Metro Kansas City area. And in fact, that is my home library because I live in a place called Blue Springs, which is in the Metro Kansas City area. He's a former cop, and he's going to be talking about basically de-escalation with problem patrons. And students typically really enjoy that presentation, in part because he's seen it all. He's a former cop, and when I say he's a former cop, he's a former child sex crimes investigator. So he's seen a lot. And in fact, whenever we have library stuff going on, he said, the library stuff really doesn't throw him for a curve that much, even if it stresses the librarians out, because none of it really compares to being a child sex crimes investigator, and I can totally understand that. So I do think that you all will definitely enjoy his presentation, and again, that will be on November the 7th. So that's pretty much all I have to say right now. I am Dr. Jace, and yes, please finish those semester-long projects and this LibGuide by doing them at an appropriate and steady pace. All right, I will see you all next week for week 11. Ta-ta!